For Senator Douglas Henry, service is in his blood. From serving his country during World War II to serving his state nearly 4 decades.
To leave Tennessee better than you found it. That's what it's all about.
That's why Tennessee's longest-serving senator has been described as a man of unwavering principles.
I recommend you vote no.
Who's racked up a list of legislative firsts for the state he loves. The nation's first child restraint law in 1978.
When you're underage, if your parents don't look out for you, the state needs to do what can be done within reason to keep you out of the path of danger.
That life-saving legislation quickly became a model for other states, along with Tennessee's first child abuse reporting law.
Roamed around the state, talked to judges and lawyers and prosecutors and defenders and social welfare people, and came up with this proposal, and it passed. That made me very happy. It still does.
Protecting children and families has always been tops for the 83-year-old legislator. He's a family man, married 60 years with 6 children, some of whom didn't have a home, so he and his wife Lolly adopted them.
He is the most principled, ethical, honorable man that may be alive in the city of Nashville today.
Tom Lee, a former news reporter turned attorney, says even those who don't agree with Henry's politics can't complain about his principles.
If you had a legislature full of Doug Henrys, you would have some positions that you wouldn't agree with, just like with anybody. But if you had a legislature full of Doug Henrys, you would have the most ethical, honest, and principled legislature you could possibly want. That's not a bad thing.
It's that honorable nature that explains why the senator has never taken a dime of the state per diem, a daily expense rate he's technically entitled to. It would have added up to hundreds of thousands of dollars by now.
The expenses are to pay for the cost of coming to Nashville by people who live out of town. It's not there for that purpose.
Maybe not, but most other local legislators take the per diem. Henry's fluent in several languages, Greek,
Kalisperasas, Philly. Good evening, friends.
And French, to name a few.
Bonsoir, mes amis.
And he reads the Greek classics in his spare time.
Zwei.
He even pushed for Tennessee's first foreign language institute to foster economic growth well before we were conducting business in what's now known as the global economy.
The small business approves this bill.
Douglas Henry, a true Tennessee statesman, a Southern gentleman, living out a life of service.
My focus is on the state of Tennessee. It is now, it always has been, and I reckon when I died, it would be up until that time. That's just the way I feel about our state.
Certainly devoted to Tennessee. And anytime you visit Radnor Lake, you can thank Senator Henry, who fought hard to acquire the property and make it public for your family to enjoy. This great state feature is